Well, hey everybody, we're going live on Friday morning right here in our Crushing It 2021 Facebook group. So hi everybody. I'm going to pull my phone up to see if I can see also if anybody else is getting on that I might miss. Wow, I'm on here. So how's it going? How's your week been, everybody? You having the week you want to have? I don't know if you guys have seen, but I'm having a really cool fitness clothing event for one of my good friends who's started her own, I think, Zaya activewear, active loungewear business. She's pretty cool. So I'm going to put the link down below so you guys can join the group at the party if you want to. Really beautiful clothing, really good quality. And I'm really excited about getting some and sharing it with everybody. So, okay, here we are. Just checking. So it seems like we've been on hold here for a week. As you guys know, I was without power. Are we live in the group? Can't find us. Anybody out there? Does anybody see me? Okay. All right, I think we're live now. I'm Crushing It 2021. Just checking to see if I can see anybody on Facebook. Here I am. Awesome. Turn the volume down so you don't hear me in two places. But I'm gonna have this here in case anybody jumps on. Okay, so just know, you guys, that this is a place for you to come ask questions. You know, I posted last night. I just made video number 25. Today, number I think 20 was released. So we only have 10 more videos before this whole event is over. So I want to make sure that you guys are getting all the value that you want to get from this, that you're getting your questions answered, that you're overcoming, that you're breaking through. And so I'm here right now, and I will come in here live a couple more times before this event's over. What I want to ask you guys is, what do you want from this going forward? We talked about doing a live coaching. I'd like to schedule that, just to get people's questions answered, but you guys have been pretty quiet. So I really don't know who's out there, who's participating, and who's breaking through and what's happening. So I'd love to hear from you guys. So normally by Friday, you would have had 3 or 4 videos this week, but you just got one really released today for the first time because of the freeze snap we had here in the Houston area, and we were without electricity basically 3 days. And I'm out here in Willis, and when we're without electricity, we're without everything. I have no phone service, no internet, of course, with no electricity. But my phone doesn't work. Even I have Sprint. I don't know if that makes a difference, but unless I have internet out here, I can't use my phone. So I'm gonna answer some questions and talk to you about a couple things. So I want you to think about this. When is a time in your life when you've wanted something, accomplished it, succeeded, and what habits did you implement? How did you see yourself to make that happen? I can tell you from a personal perspective that for me, I'm already there in my mind first. And sometimes we have to work at that because our mind holds us back and keeps us safe. I just want you guys to give yourself some grace when it comes to your subconscious mind and your limiting beliefs. First of all, they're probably not yours. They were probably passed down, or we make conclusions about something along the way, usually when we're young, and they don't really belong to us. We just kind of either inherited them or took them on when we didn't have the reasoning to really make a real educated assessment of the situation. And when we're children, we think it's all because of us anyway. So give yourself some grace when it comes to that. But then think about a time when you really did want something. And I can tell you that anytime I wanted something, when I was younger, it was already in my mind. I was already there, and I wouldn't stop until I made it happen. I would just push. But we all hit upper limiters sometimes in our lives. But it's taken me years to figure out how to break through and overcome those upper limiters. And we're always going to another level. So that's the beautiful thing about working in a growth and success mindset, is you're constantly going to another level. And so, first of all, I can say I always see it in my mind. Nowadays, I often have to build the vision in my mind because it's not there for me. Probably because when we're kids, we daydream and we're still hopeful. And we lose a lot of that as we grow up because, well, for example, I remember I wanted to be a professional dancer, and I remember my parents saying, well, you know, you could be a dance instructor, or you could, do this safe thing, right? And it's not our parents' fault. They just were trying to protect us. They don't want us to be disappointed, and they're trying to keep us safe. And it's what's been passed down to them. You know, they didn't get taught a growth mindset. They didn't get taught an unlimited mindset. And so they probably know no more now than they did when they were, raising us. I certainly know more now than I did when I was raising my children. I wish I'd known what I know today when I was raising my kids. I could have given them a different set of values, a different mindset. Because when we're children, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you're like up till like 4 or 5 years old, your brain is in theta or delta. What that means is it's on download. You're basically asleep while awake, and it's recording everything that goes on and making sense of the world during that time. And it's part of our survival mechanism, right? So it's recording everything. We start being able to read everything. We be able to read people's emotions, expressions, reactions. We learn, when we need to react or stay back, when we should speak and when we shouldn't. And we always make things mean something about us. And so it's only when we get older that we can actually sit back and go, yeah, that happened, but did it really mean something about me? And I like learning to use phrases, like especially when I'm talking to somebody else. For instance, when that happened and you responded this way, I made that mean. I like that even better than I felt this way, because a feeling isn't really real. A feeling is just an emotion that's based on, some past experience. And Dr. Joe Dispenza says we're living in our past. Hey, Jeannie, hi. I see you. I'm looking over here on Facebook so I can see that you hopped on. I should put it up here. So hi. Let me know if you have any questions, Jeannie. Where was I? So Dr. Joe Dispenza says that we basically live in two places. We either live in the future, but even living in the future, we're basing it on our past. So our past experiences, our past stories, our past belief systems, the past that's been passed down to us. And we're in one of these two places, and we're never living in this present moment where we can actually create something. So we're always creating based on our past. So we look at our past, and if we can say, okay, that happened, but did that really mean something about me? I know it made me feel that way, but that feeling is based on blah, 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 right? It's not a real feeling, because you can look at two kids raised in the same family and see that they have very different views of their upbringing. And it's because of their own filter system. Everybody in the world is like that. My favorite book that represents this is The Four Agreements. And I basically describe it like every morning we get up, we put on our own set of glasses, and this glasses they have a filter, right? And we filter our view of the world through those lenses. And it's based on our past and our stories and our beliefs, some of that are our own experiences and some that have been passed down. But we can take those glasses down and choose to look at things differently. And I'm gonna give you some sets of questions kind of here that might help you ask things differently. But I really like when I'm in a conversation with somebody, especially if I feel like my feelings are hurt. But usually if you think about it, it's like, okay, so that hurt my feelings, or that upset me, or that made me angry. But why? Well, because we made it mean something about ourselves. And 9 times out of 10, if you ask that person, when you said that, did you mean this, like blah, blah, blah towards me? They're going to say no, and they have no idea what you're talking about, because they're living their own experience. So, okay. So let me give you some questions that you can ask yourself here. Okay. So ask yourself, first of all, first question, what if I'm wrong? Okay, so let's use the example of somebody's hurt your feelings. They said something and you made it mean something about you. What if the first question you asked yourself was, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? What if that doesn't mean that? What if they didn't mean that towards me? How could that change your perspective on the situation? Could you have a conversation about it differently? I don't know if you remember the beginning of these video series, I asked you to ask yourself different questions about things. I don't know where I was going with that, so I keep moving my screen around and paying attention to other things instead of staying on track here. So let me just read this to you. Generally, limiting beliefs lose their power as soon as we consider that they may or may not be true. Can't date because of your height? That's a good example. What if you're wrong? Can't get a promotion because of your gender? What if you're wrong? As a mental exercise, adopt the ability to simply question your own beliefs and find alternative possibilities. Challenge yourself to imagine a world where your assumption is incorrect. And what would that look like if you just did that? And here's another thing I like to consider. Consider that the person talking to you is actually not trying to be rude, trying to be mean, because again, they have a different filter. So that same thing could be said to them and they could perceive it completely differently. If we can be generous towards other people and other situations, and by generous, I kind of look at it like grace, assume the best, always assuming the best. How would things look different? Like think about, I don't know, a sibling, for example. Let's say you have a lifelong rivalry with a sibling. What if you just considered that maybe they weren't trying to hurt your feelings, or maybe they didn't mean things that way? And you could, instead of assuming, you could also take it one step further and actually ask. Okay, so let me see if I can remember what the 4 agreements are. So one is never assume, right? Ask instead of assuming. Again, it's about that filter system. It isn't about you. I don't know how he says that. I should have looked this up. But it basically, in the book, he says, even if somebody walks up to you and holds a gun to your head or shoots you, it isn't about you. And we always make it all about us. Okay, so let's ask another question. So ask yourself, how is this belief serving you? Well, this is where that subconscious belief system is trying to keep you safe, and it's just instinctual, and it is literally trying to save your life. But we don't need it to be keeping us quite so safe anymore because the threats aren't the same today. So you could just say, how is this serving me? So let's go back earlier in the year when I was breaking through some fears and pushing back past some of my limiting beliefs. I can ask myself, well, how's this serving me? How is me not breaking through this serving me? How is me not doing this next step or action serving me? And it would keep me safe. It would protect my ego. It would keep me from being embarrassed or, things like that. But it wasn't pushing me to my ultimate goal, past my limiting beliefs, to the bigger picture of what I want, which is where it comes in, where we're creating our compelling future. So we like to imagine ourselves to be the victim of our own limiting beliefs, but the truth is that we adopt these beliefs because they serve us in some way. I'm gonna be really blatant here. Oftentimes, even people continuing to be chronically ill, they continue to be chronically ill because it's serving them in some way. Now, our mind is so incredibly powerful, and nobody disputes this anymore. Everybody realizes that the placebo effect is true. It's a real thing. You can use the placebo effect to serve you or not serve you, okay? And it comes even in beliefs like this. I'm going to use an example from my past. So I really was sick for many years. And when I got better, I was still very protective of myself because I would get tired very easily. I would get where I'd work really hard and have a great, day, and then I'd close down for several days. So I was very protective of my time, and I still pulled back and kept myself safe from over exhaustion. And then I don't remember what I said to one of my really good girlfriends, and she said to me, consider that, like basically she's saying it's all in your head, but not exactly like that. And I was so mad at her. I was so mad. I was so angry. I was like, and I even said to her, she knew I was mad at her. But I know right now I was so mad at her because I knew she was right. And from that day forward, and I went back and told her, you know what, you were right. I got really angry with you, but it takes a really good friend to be bold enough to say in a loving way, hey, maybe this is just a limiting belief that's holding you back. And if you can take that and go, yeah, maybe it made you mad, but you can say, you know what, you were right. And it has been keeping me small and safe. And thank you for bringing that to my attention, because from that day forward, I didn't assume that I needed to protect my health or my time the way I did before. And it opened up a whole new world for me. Okay, so what else? Here's the elephant believes she can't pull away from the fence post because the belief served her at one time. It prevented the strain and struggle of failure. Do you guys know that story about elephants? when they're little, they put a big old heavy chain and a giant stake in the ground, and they struggle and they fight and they pull and they try and try and try to pull that stake out of the ground until eventually they give up. And when they're adults, they just put a little rope around them, and there's no way it's holding back this huge elephant, but it remembers all those years of strain and struggle and trying to break free. And so it doesn't even really try anymore. And that's what I think we do. You know, we at one time try really hard, and we hit up against failure and struggle, and then people telling us, trying to keep us safe and reiterating the beliefs, and then we just give up. Also, we often hold on to limiting beliefs because they make us feel special, self-righteous, or that we deserve special attention. It's not fair that I can't change careers because I'm too old. Look at me, pity me. So we all have friends or people in our lives where they say, I can't do it because I'm too old. I can't do it because there's no good men out there. I can't do it because, you know, fill in the blank. It's easy to look at somebody else and realize, okay, that's just their limiting belief holding them back, right? But sometimes it can be really difficult for us to see in ourselves. So ask yourself the question, how is this belief serving me? Maybe in a relationship or lack of relationship situation, it's keeping you from getting hurt again. You know, somebody could say, you know what, marriage doesn't work, or there's no good men out there. At my age, all the good men are taken, or whatever their story might be, their limiting belief. But the truth is, I'm just keep wiggling this table so it's on the camera. But the truth is, it's just their story, keeping them small, right? And we can see it for what it is. We can see from the outside because maybe we're in, you know, a relationship with somebody and we did find him at an older age, so we know it's not true. And even sometimes they know it's not true, but they're not willing to give it up. You have to work and be willing to give it up. And by work, I mean, you have to ask yourself the hard questions. You have to say, what would my life be like if I didn't? So I think these questions are coming up. Let's see. Create an alternative belief. Here we go. Now it's time to get creative. Come up with ways in which you may be wrong. Sure, maybe the average person isn't attracted to someone your height, but you're not trying to date the average person. You're trying to date someone special. And someone special is going to find you attractive the way you are. So I think that's the other benefit we have when we're children is we all think we're something special, or I did. I mean, I thought I was, you know, extraordinary. I thought I could do anything. I still had that superhero thing that you have when you're a kid. And again, that doesn't go away until life beats it out of us kind of along the way. And the more we get told and the more struggles we have, then we start thinking that we can't. And then we buy that we can't, and we believe that we can't, and we prove over and over and over again that we can't. Okay, there's nothing stopping you other than your own mind. Remember, we create our lives and the conversations we have about it. Just like God created the world by speaking it into existence, we speak our life into existence. What we have is because we have created it first in our thoughts, then by talking, speaking it, and along the way believing it, making it true. Now, obviously, it's not as simple as choosing belief and then you just believe it, but actually it can be. It really can be, and that's a quantum leap. And I think it's going to be the next to the last video that I'm going to do is about quantum leaps. No, what you're doing is getting into the habit of questioning your beliefs and trying out new ones. Sometimes it even helps to write these down. It's definitely write stuff down. Write down your assumptions and then come up with 4 or 5 possible alternatives. This forces you to see that not only do you harbor some limiting beliefs, does anybody out there know or not know that you have limiting beliefs? I think we all do. Oh, who else just joined me? I don't know who else is on here, but welcome and hello. Say hello, so I know you're there. Let me know if you guys have any questions, okay? Or you want to come on, I can bring you on camera with me. We can talk together. I can answer questions one-to-one with you. Okay, so with repeated practice and noticing your limiting beliefs and imagining new, hey, Shamra, welcome. Imagining new ideas to replace them, you'll start to notice that thousands of tiny little decisions you make based on your limiting beliefs without even realizing it. And again, that's our, I can't say it right now, reticular activating system, proving to us over and over again that our belief is true. We see or filter out what we don't want to see and only see and focus on what we want to. Okay, let's go to the next question. Test those alternative beliefs to see if it might be true. This is the final step according to these people. The final step to treat these alternative beliefs as though they're hypothesis as an experiment. Now you've got to try them out to see if they work. Treat it like you're trying on a new pair of jeans, adding new ingredients to a recipe, taking a new car for a test drive. enter your favorite cheesy metaphor here. Until we're willing to actually see if these alternative beliefs play out in the real world, we can't be certain of which one is true and which one is not. Well, and I would challenge you to take that a little step further and just believe that nothing you believe is probably true, that it's something you're creating, and that you can actually create some other reality for yourself. So has there been a time in your life that you can remember that you believed one thing and you changed? And it often seems like it's in an instant, right? You completely flip. That's what I call a quantum leap, or, you know, quantum switch. And well, our life being created in the conversations we have about it. You know, I have my own business, and I used to say, I have one of my values that was passed down to me was working hard. And I used to say, well, I'm a hard worker. And that was a value of mine, and it meant a good thing to me. But I realized I was constantly reiterating to myself that I had to work hard. So I decided to change that verbiage. Besides, I want to help other people build their own businesses. And who wants to work hard? I don't want to work hard. So I can't imagine that anybody else does either. So I don't want to make my business hard. Instead, I want to make it simple and easy and fun, simple and easy and fun. And I want things to just flow to me and come to me. And that's the state we can be in when we decide to be that way, when we decide to create our life differently. So I hope this is giving you something to think about. Jeannie or Shamber, do you guys have anything you want to mention? Any of your own experiences, any questions that you'd like to throw out there? I'm open to talking to you about any of them before we wrap this up for the day. So your assignment for today, guys, is to drop down below two things. One, a time in your life where you switched your belief system. And two, hey, Cindy, welcome. And a second thing would be to tell me what number video are you on? Where are you in this process? And I'm gonna do one more. And third, do you guys wanna have a Zoom meeting before this is all up and gone and running? Goodbye, because we're 10 videos out. Number 20 got released today. I have 5 more in the pipeline. I went ahead and made 5 yesterday so that they're already in the pipeline, ready to go. And I'm just gonna keep making them. So my goal is to get them all done in the next 9 days, so just after the end of the month, we should be done. And then I'm thinking about continuing on by doing a weekly tip to move forward. But I can also go into any of these subjects deeper or do a deeper dive in one of these places. So I need to hear back from you guys. Like, what's working? What do you need to do? You're halfway through, Cindy, so you're on 15, number 15? Good. Excellent. How's it going for you? Is it making a difference? You want me to bring you on camera so you can talk with me, Cindy? It says I can bring you on camera. Yeah, okay. Yes, it's helping you, or yes, you want to come on camera? Tell me. Okay, I'm gonna try to bring you on. No, you don't want to come on camera, then you can just say no. There's a delay, so I don't know which questions you're actually answering. Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna have to get ready to go here pretty soon anyway. Okay, well, I'm glad it's helpful for you. I'm glad you're experiencing something and hopefully breaking through. But I need some feedback from you guys. I need to hear from you guys so I can know what we want to do next, where we want to go, how I can help you more. Because the reason I do this is because I really love helping you guys break through. So, and it also helps me remember and to stay on track and keep working through my own limiting beliefs and my own next level so that I can continue to go forward. Because I can tell you I've been backwards and it's not a fun place to be. I definitely knew going backwards way better than I knew going forward for the better part of my life. So I have a lot of experience in that as well. And I think the most important thing is that you give yourself some grace and you know that it's okay, that yeah, you've been there, but you know what? You're the best person to help somebody else overcome similar things. Because you can't in theory help somebody figure something out for them when you haven't been through it yourself. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for coming on here live with me. And I'm planning to go live again next Friday. I'm trying to kind of mix up the times. Sorry, Cindy. I know that sometimes things come up in our life, but you know what? Again, anyway, so those who can't see it, Cindy said she had a hiccup the last couple of weeks and stuff has come up, and one of the favorite tricks that I do, no matter what, it doesn't matter if I've started eating a certain way or started exercising or started a prayer and meditation regime. If I get thrown off, I just go, okay, that happened. Now I never make it like I'm starting over again in my head, because starting over again is too overwhelming for us most of the time, and it keeps us from doing it. Instead, I just go, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. And it's just a subtle switch in my head, but by doing it that way, I'm more likely to just keep going. But if I have to start over psychologically, in order to start something in the first place, we have to go through a whole mental process. And starting over, if we say, oh, we're starting over, we have to go through that mental process again. So the best thing to do is just pick up and keep going. So that's my recommendation for you. Just keep going. Don't even register really that I don't want to say don't register it. Yes, it happened. That's okay. But make it okay. Okay, now I'm gonna keep going. It's like any minute and any day you can make a completely different new decision and be in a different thought process in a different place. So I know you've all done this. Anybody who's ever started eating a certain way and they ate a cupcake today, so they say forget it, throw out the day, and then they were like, well, we're already on the path. We throw out the next day, and then before we know it, a week's gone, right? Then we have to go through the whole mental process to get started again. Well, rather than doing that, at any moment in that process, just say, okay, I made that decision. It was just a decision. It is neither good nor bad. It is just a decision. It has no morals, right? It didn't do anything right or wrong. It just is. And if you can just go, it is, and now I'm going to make a different decision and just keep moving forward. And I highly recommend checking things off when you're doing something. It doesn't exactly apply to what we're doing here per se, but I like to use this idea because remember, you get that dopamine dump. Well, you might not have gotten that video yet, but you do get a dopamine release when you check things off. So I highly recommend that you just keep checking it off and just keep moving forward, because it is a part of you becoming that new person, that new way of being. So, all right, everybody, thanks for joining me so much. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Keep working. The next videos are going to come out for the next 10 days. So I don't think we're going to have any misses. So get ready. Move forward, don't stop, just keep going, and keep going. Let me know what you guys need, what you want, and how I can be of service to you. Take care.